Richard Fitzgerald. This is Dubai Works, where we interview the business leaders making a difference in this great city.
That business with scalability was very interesting to me.
I like building something that has legacy.
Okay, second last episode of Ramadan. I hope everyone's having a great time this holy month. I found it really rewarding. Everyone is continuing to work and there's so many nice celebrations and gatherings around the city. Speaking of things that happen around the city, this week's interview is all about the communications and events space, and our guest has been doing it for a long time and tells a fascinating story about how the big events have been set up in the city and how they contribute to the economy. So enjoy the conversation. Welcome back to another episode of Dubai Works Business Podcast. This week with us is Mohammed Tayem. He is the founder and CEO of Entourage. They are a regional creative events and brand marketing agency steeped in Middle Eastern culture. So we're going to hear about the beginnings of Entourage and look into the industry and then what's ahead. Good morning.
Very good morning. Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem to you too.
How are you today?
Very good. How's everything?
Excellent.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about Entourage.
Interesting question. Entourage is a live communication agency, as we love to position it. Started in the last crisis, if I may say, 2008, 2009. Entourage is an agency which tries to help the client in communicating the key message of the brand, be it a governmental client, be it a technical or a technology brand, be it just a retail brand. We take these clients into their audience by identifying the right communication strategy. From there we start. So when we started, we have built a fully communication in-house agency. We have invested in a full creative studio. We have invested in a full PR team. We have invested in a full events team. In addition to that, media team led by strategy. I believe strategy within the fast-paced marketing changes around the world, I believe strategy is the most important department which agencies are looking into at this stage. Simply because you need to understand what the brand needs. It's not only pushing a service to the brand. You need to understand what exactly the brand needs within the region, within the target audience, within the geography of the brand itself. So from there we started back in 2008, 2009, started very small with one employee with me. Then we started growing from a very small agency into a regional agency operating now in 4 countries with few offices in each country. Entourage itself, 80 plus employees. We have sister companies from production perspective with adding another, if I'm not mistaken, 80 to 90 other employees. So in total, we're around 200 employees on the payroll.
Wow,
yeah.
That's really successful story.
Mashallah,
well done. 15 years in, almost. That's a nice growth story. So tell us a little bit about the journey.
Exciting, interesting, tiring journey over the past almost 15 years. It started from a one-man show or a couple of people into big team. It's not easy. Going into international clients, going into regional governmental entities, dealing with big projects, mega projects, dealing with multi-million projects is not something easy. In order to do that, I believe, as each and every businessman on earth, we've been through a lot. We've been through a lot of highs and a lot of downs through the journey. Our first milestone, if I may talk about, was signing up with the biggest brand in the world at that time. I believe it's one of the biggest now, Google. Back in 2011, we have had Google as a brief, the first initial brief to work with Google for a small event, creative event. And from there, we have done it perfectly. So from there, the journey started with Google. We celebrated last year we celebrated 10 years of successful partnership with Google. I believe having from the start, having a big brand like Google on the portfolio was a major step in Entourage journey, simply because an international brand like Google will add into it the experience, will add into it the credibility, will add into it the acceptance from the market, from the rest of the potential clients across the journey. The second milestone in Entourage's life, I believe, a very important marketing media campaign to promote one of the most interesting touristic brands in the Middle East, in the region, Egypt.
Okay.
Egypt in 2000, from 2010 to 2014, they had the revolution. I'm not sure if you remember the president who changing the government, changing the regime completely. In 2014, the current president was appointed through election. From there, we got appointed to re-promote Egypt into the Arab world, to the region, to the Middle East. Egypt is very close to the GCC. We look alike in so many elements. So promoting Egypt or re-promoting Egypt into the Arab world, or bringing the Arab world into Egypt to start going as tourists, as business, etc., was another milestone on Entourage life. We have run 2 years of successful campaigns. I think that was another big milestone, which added to Entourage promoting countries. I think we can talk a lot about the importance of, or the difference between promoting just a brand and promoting a country. That, I think, is something we can add on later on the show. Third milestone through the journey was in the middle of Corona, getting appointed to organize the G20.
Oh, wow.
In Saudi,
yeah.
In Saudi.
G20, that was going to be really big, and then it was scaled back.
It was scaled back. So, but though the size of the event got scaled back, but the vision, the ambition of having the G20 leaders in Saudi, the first Arabic country to host the G20, was so honorable for all of us as part of the organizing committee. So it was a milestone, big milestone, putting together so many international conferences together, promoting these international conferences, making sure that the whole world hear about the output of what's happening within these conferences, bringing the world to attend and to show to watch a few open to public international summits on virtual platforms was another challenge. At the end of the day, not everyone is interested to hear what's happening from political perspective. So pushing audience.
You managed that the virtual streaming part of it as well.
We have managed the full in introducing the first time the hybrid model of international summits at the level of G20. We have built a studio in Riyadh in Crown Plaza, and we have brought the rest of the G20 leaders plus 8 honorable countries into the conversation through virtual platform. We have promoted as well few open to air or public events for audience to come and watch.
Yeah. So the marketing services industry is quite complex. There's many different offerings. There's many different agencies. And I think, there's a strategy part, but I think what you've described could be done by different agencies. For example, you could have a bespoke creative events agency, and you could have a comms agency or PR agency.
True.
You seem to offer both. And would you say you're in the sweet spot in the middle, or, for some clients, do you just do events, or for other clients, do you just do the comms part?
Actually, I'll go one step back, if you allow me. If you go to buy a Mercedes, definitely they will not sell you a Toyota simply because they're selling Mercedes. Same applies on the communication. Same applies on marketing agency. If you go into an advertising agency, they will not offer you PR, or they will not offer you event. They will offer advertising because this is what they're selling. So that's why I believe strategy is extremely important. Having the all channels of marketing as an offering, I believe it gives the freedom to the strategy team to recommend the right marketing service. It doesn't have to be advertising all the time. At the end of the day, There are so many brands, it doesn't need advertising. It might need only PR. There are a lot of activities, it doesn't need PR. It might just need social media, or it might need both social media and PR, or it might need an activation or a mall activation or a big event or a wow corporate event. So it's all about, it all depends on how the brand and the strategy of that brand from positioning perspective needs to be communicated with the target audience and the geography of that target audience. From Entourage perspective, we have, as I said, divided our business streams into two business streams. We have a cost center, completely revenue center from advertising and media, which underneath it we plugged in communication. We have another business unit called corporate events. Within the corporate events, what we love to do, we take a project completely from concept perspective, building a concept, into building agenda content, into building screen content, into building PR plans and execution, media plans and buying, then executing the event itself from design, concept, and execution, which covers the rest of the elements of the event itself. Well, I believe taking a full project from scratch makes it better for the agency and for the client in order to excel in delivering. So many examples here in Dubai, as we'll talk about Dubai in a second, with the importance of the event industry, how big is this industry in Dubai in a second. But what I wanted to say that I'll take Knowledge Summit, for example, here in Dubai. We have suggested it to the media, to the Knowledge Office, to the Mohammed bin Rashid Foundation for Knowledge back in 2014 as an idea. Why don't we build one of the biggest conferences to take place on the global map in 2-3 years or 4 years to bring each and everyone who's interested in knowledge at large to be or to have this as a biggest platform or the biggest platform for knowledge as a conference. We have designed the brand, we have designed the logo, we have designed the idea, we have designed the first agenda, we have designed the content of the agenda, we have created, the agenda itself, we married the content into speakers, then we have designed the journey, what will happen inside the event, what will people come and see, what they will take out with them. Then we went into the smallest details of how can I make the international speakers' journey a little bit better, enhanced, how they can interact with Dubai as a brand, as a city, what they're gonna see once they reach into here. So we have built the registration process. Then what happens after the summit from easier perspective. Knowledge Summit started as a very small idea. 2019 Knowledge Summit accommodated around 8,000 people.
Wow.
I would say 60% of them from around the world.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. But before we go on, I'm interested in this sort of market expansion approach, because many people listening to this will have businesses in Dubai, UAE, and they'll hear that Saudi is an opportunity, or they'll think of other markets. How did you approach market entry? Was it strategic? Did you sense an opportunity? Did you win a piece of business? And how was that for you? I
would say it was a mix of all. When we started from Dubai. We saw an opportunity back in the days in 2012 in Saudi, simply because we have had Google at that time. They have big operation in Saudi. So we started going with Google to execute their projects in Saudi. We saw how Saudi at that time was dealing with events. They were big on not in comparison to now, it was nothing. But at that time in 2012, they were having some good budgets for events. So we have started looking at the market in 2013-14. We opened Entourage in 2013 in Riyadh and Jeddah, both of them. We have executed few small projects for Google, for few of our clients. We did not expand heavily into the market. Then when Saudi opened up with the new vision, with the Vision 2030, we have seen how aggressive was the vision, because we were there in the market. So we have seen the aggressiveness of the vision, where the vision is going to take Saudi in 13 years. So we have decided to be part of this change, and we have decided to be part of this new era. So we expanded our operation in Saudi. Same applies with us in Egypt. Cairo, when we got the contract of Ministry of Tourism in 2014, we have seen how aggressive Mr. Al-Sisi is taking Egypt into a new era, how aggressive the plans are. So we decided to open Cairo. It took us some time to make the decision of opening. We opened directly after Corona, I think 21. But I believe we have kept an eye on Egypt heavily to see what's happening in Egypt. That's why I said it's a mix of all, taking a client, then going into the market, meeting the leaders, the leadership of these countries made us having a vision or understanding what's happening in these countries.
And you definitely see it as a regional company. That was the kind of vision that you wanted to create.
Absolutely. The vision for Entourage is to have Entourage as one of, if not the only regional agency operating in each and every city or country within the region. It's an ambitious plan, I know, but hopefully soon it will happen. Today we're covering 4 countries. I believe 8 more to go.
Okay, which are the 8?
Actually, Morocco, I have my eyes on Morocco next. Definitely GCC is covered between Saudi and UAE. Hopefully, we have, in addition to Egypt and Morocco, we have another part of Africa. We need to allocate somewhere in Africa. Jordan, my country, my homeland, we should reopen as well. So yes, considering Qatar as well very soon. We're looking at the region.
Amazing. So just want to ask a question, because when you're an expert in events and you see when you pull off really good corporate events, is there a temptation to have your own IP and do your own events? Or is there too much risk there with the selling tickets versus, that corporate margin?
I'm sure my head of events have wrote this question, because they're nagging heavily now on creating Entourage IP event. Tell you the truth, we're not into this. I'm not yet ready for creating an IP event, simply because we have our fruitful clients, our grateful clients, which we are grateful for, which we are busy with their plans, making their plans coming through. We have a lot of conferences. We have designed, developed, and executed so many big conferences in the region, so many big corporate events, which have been placed on the global map at this stage, like the Knowledge Summit, which I mentioned earlier, in addition to many other between here and Saudi. So I'm not sure if we are ready into IP conferences at this stage or corporate events at this stage.
Yeah, no, and I think that's good discipline, because it's a different business, isn't it?
It is.
Especially in this region, it's hard to pull it off, to manage the logistics and the footfall and the tickets.
To tell you the truth, every time I attend FII, I look at the IP events and the IP conferences, how successful they are and how big they can go.
This is the Future Investment
Investment Initiative. FII is, I would say, it's another coin side of the WEF, Davos.
World Economic Forum.
Yeah, of the World Economic Forum, Davos. It has been called the
Davos in the desert. They don't like that. Yeah.
When if you remember that when they first launched it, FII today is very aggressive. It has big plans. It's now a corporation by itself, led by a full entity managed by PIF. Public Investment Forum, Public Investment Fund in Saudi. It was initiated as an IP, if I may call it. It was initiated as an IP conference to have the insights about what's happening in Saudi, to have the full attention on the investment side of Saudi. It's interesting, the IP conferences, interesting, or the IP events, ticketed events, very interesting, but it needs a full dedication, it needs an investment. It's a full standalone project by itself.
Amazing. And before we kind of go on a little bit more in that line of thought, I just want to sort of talk about digital. The world is very different now than when you started. How have you navigated the trends? What you do is rooted in, a lot of comms is very similar to what it has been. A lot of events are physical, but of course they've got digital aspects. But how have you navigated those things?
To tell you the truth, especially in Dubai, if Dubai changed the game in media in several occasions. One of them is digital. The traditional media was big. Most of the broadcasting was happening from Dubai. Outdoor scene changed in the full region out from Dubai. Publication changed completely from Dubai. So the concept of having the awards ceremony connected into publications, I think, had a glamour in Dubai. Then out of all of this, it started shuffling towards digital or towards just a phone advertising or a mobile advertising or just a website advertising. I resisted a lot. It took me a lot of time to understand how can we send a media plan to a client of 10 million dirham, for example, to spend 2 or 3 million dirhams on social media. It doesn't make any sense for me at the very beginning. It doesn't make any sense. Though it was convincing, as you know, digital today is playing major role. Today, digital is being preferred by clients because you can measure it, you can edit it, you can change it, you can do a lot in digital while you're running the campaign in order to identify the reach and to identify the right target audience. While in traditional media, you cannot change. And if you want to change, you have to pay money, simply. If you are an outdoor, you need to change the artwork, you need to change the banners, etc. So digital, if we're talking about today, how do I see digital in 14 years? It grew, it changed completely the scene from running advertising campaigns on TV into running advertising campaign on YouTube or on TikTok or on Snapchat. It changed completely. It changed dramatically. Today, media plans changed from 60 or 70 to 30 into 70 to 30. Now, most of the money is being spent on digital. Most of the clients are favoring digital, trying to avoid spending money on outdoor. Though outdoor is still working perfectly, especially within our region. But you would see a lot of the traditional media, like publications, like radios, etc., are not having a lot of media budgets to be spent on.
Yeah.
So talking about the events and virtual events as well, it got adapted, and it adapted to what's happening around the region. But when we were in the Corona, we have created a new company called Eve Virtual. Eve is a virtual platform where you can host a full event within the same experience of a physical event, but virtual. So even event industry got at certain point into the digital, adapted into a digital. We can talk about Eve from virtual perspective as soon as we're ready.
Yeah, fascinating. But just on that sort of virtual part, and I think you were talking about the shift of where clients from a comms point of view or marketing, no longer do they think they can reach people on traditional media and they want to reach them on digital, and you can help reach them there. But I'm more interested about the sort of technology and investments that you make, because when I see a big production, a big event, and I see the entourage production crew, the t-shirts, it's very obvious, but I always admire how much infrastructure is there. And has that changed over the years? The expectations of the clients, the software, the broadcasting, the hardware, how has that changed in that industry?
A lot. When we started, events were big events were going live on TV. Today, TV has changed. How many people today are watching TV? Even if they want to watch TV, they don't watch an on-air TV, most of them. Or majority, they don't watch an on-air TV. They go into the applications and they download the content like Netflix, etc. So from events perspective, or from entourage perspective, if we are to talk about entourage, we have to adapt into what's happening around us. Today, events in specific, communication in specific, they need to be part of what's happening around us. Today, events are big on technology. We cannot be behind in technology. We have to be big on technology. Each and every big corporate event, one of the most important elements inside the controlled environment is technology, where people, they need to come and see what's happening. They need to be wowed. The brand itself needs to be connected into the technology side to show the audience of this brand that we are adapting to technology. I remember last year, 2022, we have done a massive event for Aramco. More than 35% of the budget were spent on technology of the event. Immersive room to make sure that we are showing the plans of where Aramco is heading, especially Aramco was in the middle of the IPO, where Aramco is heading from technology perspective. A lot of technology elements was in the immersive room. Each and every touch point within the exhibition area, within the stage area, within the workshops area, had a touch point of technology, from robotic things into robotic arms, into robotic future. Today, AI is playing. It's blowing the minds of everyone. We have to use it. We have to be part. We have to be prepared as an event agency, which talks into the minds of set target audience in a controlled environment. I love to call it controlled environment because the event areas are controlled environment. It's controlled by the director, by the show caller, etc. So we push messages. So in order to push these messages, needs to be pushed in the right way. It needs to be pushed to tackle the brand essence or the governmental entity essence, etc. So today on Entourage, we are big in from investment perspective. When I say that we own production facility, for example, today our production facility in Riyadh is around 25,000 square feet of space. It has state-of-art fabrication area. I cannot use the same items the same way we started in fabricating stuff as of today. Today we own big AVL equipments. I cannot use a screen less than, for example, 2.6 or 2.5 of pixel, etc. Even the mics, even the cameras, etc. So all of this, it needs to be enhanced, changed, moving fast as the world is moving fast.
Yeah, and it's expensive, isn't it?
It is definitely. It's a big investment, but at the end of the day, the region today, if we talk about the industry, the region today is booming within this industry. The region is appreciating the industry.
Yeah, definitely. It's good. It's good. A good decade and good time to be in this industry. And speaking of the industry, people living in Dubai are going to be at different levels of the consumer, are going to be come across events, right? They attend them, they're part of them in their work. Like the city is run by real estate, but it's really run by events.
True.
And there's pop-up events, there's branding events, there's from themed nights in restaurants to even during Ramadan, there's suhoors and iftars. Every brand is doing something. There's the corporate events. As someone who's really deep in the industry for a long time, how do you view the city? Like, where do you break it down? Like, what's your lens about what's going on?
I believe 1999 or the year 2000 was a game changer for UAE at large, for Dubai in specific. When GITEX, the first GITEX, was hosted, it opened up the eyes of the leadership in the country on the importance of this industry. I always love to talk about this industry. We call it industry because this industry is as big as real estate. You mentioned it absolutely right. Today, the amount of revenue which is affecting the GDP of Dubai or UAE at large, from events perspective, look at the Expo. Let's take Expo as an example. Dubai Expo lasted for 6 months. How many people visited? How many people invested? How many people came to see the Expo or saw what's happening in Dubai? How many people today they have changed their living cities into Dubai because of what have they seen as part of an event they were invited to, or just a commercial event, or just a private event they attended in Dubai. So events is a game changer for the country. Today we have, I have read somewhere a few months back that 4,000 millionaires came from Russia and Ukraine to relocated 100% to have Dubai as their city. Definitely this did not happen out of nowhere. There's a huge infrastructure was built to accommodate these people. These people, they want real estate. Yes, they want a proper banking system. But at the end of the day, they want a life. They want to build their businesses. So in order to build their businesses, they need the right infrastructure for business, for interaction, for trade in, trade out, for communicating their brands. They have seen how big communication agencies in Dubai they are. They have attended big events in Dubai, and they have seen where this industry has reached, and I'm sure they have seen the plans of the country. Today, Abu Dhabi is playing a major role as well in opening up the country, the city itself, into more SMEs, more technology startups, more technology companies to come and relocate. So all of these is affecting, all of these elements are affecting us at large as an event professionals or as marketeers. 2021 or 2022, Dubai Economic Department announced a huge number of new licenses opening in Dubai after Corona, which is an interesting announcement to show the world that we are still the right area, the right atmosphere for businesses, be it startup, be it medium, be it small, or be it large corporations. Back to the industry which we are in. In 2000, the GITEX started. Then the events, each and every year, we used to have a bigger year of events. Started as exhibitions, then we started hosting big conferences. The first World Economic Forum, or one of the first World Economic Forums outside Davos, was hosted in Dubai. The government summit is bringing the world into Dubai. Knowledge Summit, Islamic Summit, a lot of summits happening around us in addition to the exhibitions. So I believe the understanding of the importance of this industry played major role in putting Dubai on the global map. Today, Saudi as well is playing this role. Qatar opened up into that. Egypt as well started opening up into the importance of event industry at large, communication and marketing on the other side of it.
Yeah, I think you described it well, that it contributes to the economy because it touches many factors: tourism, and just business deals being done, that commercial activity. Yeah. And it's fascinating to see how the numbers on GITEX, I think it's over 100,000 people attend. Yeah. The full cycle of events calendar, we're all familiar with it now. We know what time of the year based on which event is coming next.
Absolutely. Next week is ATM, for example, the Arabian Travel Market. ATM is a very important occasion for all the tourism professionals to come and be okay. I'll see you in Dubai next week in ATM. Well, I'll see you. We'll meet next year in ATM to finalize this and that. So ATM, Gulf Food, GITEX, Cityscape previously, all these big brands, they are as big as the World Travel Market of London. They are as big as GITEX, for example. It's as big as Web Summit of Lisbon. So what I'm trying to say that these brands, they have created a brand by itself into the region, if not into the world. They are now accommodated or hosted, associated with Dubai on the map, on the calendar every year. So it's planned in advance that next year I'm going to ATM. I know for sure that next year I will be in GITEX Dubai. Regardless there is Corona, regardless there is whatever, the GITEX of Dubai, we can't miss it simply because it's one of the most important tech and IT exhibitions in the world.
And without asking you specifically, how you get involved in that, I think just make it a bit broader first. How competitive is the industry? How many people have the experience that Entourage has versus your chance of winning business, and thinking of it from say there's someone who's thinking of setting up a comms type events business. One or the other.
Every day there's someone doing that.
But is it tough? Do they get going? Like, is it hard?
It's getting tough every day. It's getting tough every day, but at the end of the day, we have reached into a level where Entourage is Entourage. When we are called for a brief, or when we are called for a project, there's an understanding of what Entourage can offer, why Entourage is being called. But what I'm trying to say at large in the market, today the market is super competitive. There are thousands of people who are operating in this industry, be it a social media agency, or be it a PR agency, or an event agency, or even the larger umbrella of Marcom agency. Social media today, they are being offered at 2,000 dirham a month as on retainer, which is no one can afford. At the end of the day, no one can afford opening a business to pay a retainer of 2,000 to collect retainer of 2,000 dirham. But I don't know how people are doing
completely
it.
Commoditized. Yeah.
I own a company for here in Dubai, another company for fabrication, and it's a production house. We used to sell, for example, the square meter at X amount of money. Today, it's less than 60 or 65% of what we used to sell before Corona. Simply because there are million production houses out there, Qoz, IMPZ, etc. I'm not saying no, it's good.
Is that the joinery kind of production part to support your events business?
We opened it to facilitate Entourage's business, but at the end of the day, since it's there, we made it as a standalone company, and it can cater for so many other clients. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say that the competition is good as long as the competition is keeping the standards, keeping the competition fairness. But if today you are selling a social media retainer for 2,000 dirham, how on earth another agency can price themselves at 20 or 50 or 70? At the end of the day, yes, there are agencies. We are one of the agencies who are very expensive when it comes to social media. But at the end of the day, we know what we're doing from quality perspective, from execution perspective. But convincing the client that I am taking this amount while there are a million other people taking this small amount, how is it logic? It's not an easy thing to go through.
Yeah, it's fascinating. For someone listening outside the region to listen to this conversation, they'll be impressed with how commercially advanced it is. It's a complete, it's how business should be done. It's supply and demand. It's matching prices and everything like that. But just talk a little bit about the sort of, when there's a big RFP or a tender for a corporate event.
Yep.
Do you have to? Is the pitch process long? How many people at your level can pull off the big corporate events? Is there 5 companies? Are there 50 companies? Are there 500 companies?
I believe there are 2 types of companies, or 3 types of companies. You have, as you said, the big agencies who can take out or take up big briefs, big projects, execute them. There are the middle-sized companies, and there are the small companies who are working on so many social and small commercial projects. A lot of the agencies or a lot of the companies, they work on execution and production more than strategizing and work on content or putting the strategy itself and the concept itself and make it come alive. Agencies who can take a project from A to Z or building a proper with the international standards, I would say within the region they are limited, simply because getting exposed into organizing international level summits will give you experience every day while the work is happening. How many are they? They are quite few, but at the end of the day, all of them are working perfectly. All of them are delivering results, showing the world that our region, Dubai in specific today, is the right place to host, to accommodate, and to manage these international standard events.
Yeah, amazing. And, in terms of the different offerings that you have and the size of the team, Obviously, people who are working on social media and comms are sort of fixed employees, but do you have to scale up and scale down? If you have a big event, might you suddenly need 20 extra resources, and how do you manage that?
Simply, as you said, we scale it up, we scale it down from freelancing perspective, but we don't rely 100% on freelancers, though the market now is shifting towards that business model, though I'm not convinced with it at all. I believe that full-time employees are the asset of our business. Today, regardless of how much money we invest in equipments, it means nothing if you don't have the right people to operate them, if you don't have the right minds to create the right ideas. Well, these right minds, these right ideas are your asset, which you need to maintain, which you need to keep, which you need to make sure that they are being positioned right in front of the client with their ideas. You should defend their ideas to make sure that these people ideas are being designed, presented, designed, and executed. How we manage when we have big scale projects, I think for the past 2-3 years, we have scaled up rapidly. We're still scaling up. We're still recruiting, by the way, simply to accommodate all the requirements which we are receiving, which we are receiving on continuous basis. The challenge which each and everyone in the industry face, the seasonality of our work. That the summer season is a little bit slow. We have 2 heavy seasons. We have 1 medium range season, and we have almost 1 dead quarter. So maintaining the employees all the time, maintaining these talents satisfied, paid all the time, is a challenge, I understand, but at the end of the day, the rest of the agencies, they see it as a challenge for more than 4 months of paying salaries without income. But at the end of the day, this is the type of industry, this is the type of business which we are in. You need to accept this fact, you need to accept this rule and play it.
Amazing, good answer, interesting. So 2 last questions. One is, so what's sort of next for Entourage? Is this something, you seem like you have a lot of energy, Mr. Ramadan, but you've been doing this for a long time. Is it something that you're passionate to continue doing, and do you have future plans?
To tell you the truth, I always love to talk about passion. Passion, I believe it's the key factor of any success. Today, when I started Entourage, or when Entourage started on a very extremely small scale. Today, Entourage is one of, I would say, humbly, one of the big players in the region. Where are we going? We're going behind our passion, nowhere else. Today, we are so passionate about what we're doing. My team and myself today are so passionate about seeing ideas of a pitch come alive. It's so exciting for us to be on site. I'm always on site, by the way. When there's an event, I'm always on site. I'm always with the team, making sure that whatever we pitched for is being executed right into the maximum quality which we can. There are a lot of circumstances around each and every project, but we try to accommodate, and we try to go over the challenges and circumstances which happens around us. Challenging industry, challenging markets, but exciting industry and exciting era for the markets.
Amazing. And, we often ask on this show about the Middle East as an emerging market. Yeah. Obviously, and we touched on a lot of these topics, the Gulf is buoyant, there's a lot of opportunity. You're from the region, you've been operating business here for a long time. Do you think we're almost at a different phase now? Is there a new region emerging? Do you think it can live up to these new visions that are in place?
I believe if you look at most of the countries within our region, they have seen the importance of putting a long-term vision. We start implementing it lately, I would say somewhere around 2015. Dubai was from the very few cities, or UAE, from the very first countries who put a long-term vision and started working on it. Egypt, Saudi, Qatar, etc. They have now, since few years, they have put an aggressive plans, aggressive vision they started shifting, emerging all the industries, all the entities around achieving these visions. Vision 2030 of Saudi, I think, is an example to be educated or to be
Admired and
admires among the whole world, not only among the region. Today, if you've seen Saudi before 2017 and Saudi after 2017, there's a huge difference in commitment, in delivering, in passion, in achievements. And UAE as well, we have seen a lot, Dubai in specific, Abu Dhabi in specific. They are on the global map since a very long time now. Today, if you say international cities around the world, you cannot mention Dubai. You cannot forget to mention Dubai. You cannot forget about the importance of Dubai, as important as London, New York, etc. So, how are these visions getting the emerging markets into the next step? I believe the upcoming few years we will see a lot of movement within the region. We would see a lot of business opportunities let's talk about business. From business perspective, we will see a lot of business opportunities. We have seen what happened in Qatar. What Qatar did is amazing. A lot of examples will be followed, similar to the Expo. Saudi, I think Expo 2030 as well is in the process of, we are waiting for the announcement. Saudi might get it. Egypt is working on so many big files as well to be hosted within 2030 in Cairo or in Egypt at large. So we see big movements within the area, within the region. I believe big plans from now until 2030.
Amazing. A very positive note to finish on. Thank you for sharing your story this morning.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Interesting and exciting conversation.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a fascinating interview. It really is, the heart and beat of the city, the events industry. And Mohammed talked about the big ones. We've got ATM coming up soon as well. If you did like that, I would recommend that you check out Nusha from Link Viva. So they're a similar company to Entourage, and that interview is on the timeline on Dubai Works on any of the audio apps, but also you can watch them in full in video on smashy.tv apps, website, smart TV devices. Thank you to everyone who behind the scenes who put this together: Ali Baba, Ali Khalil, Shahir Al-Kindi, and it will be available on the smart TV as I mentioned, and also there's articles on Lovin Dubai. So thanks to the team who distribute that. We'll be back again next week. We'll be at 11 o'clock on Friday. During Eid al-Fitr, we'll be broadcasting Dubai Works, but also on Smashy, you'll be able to consume lots of other content. So there's live futsal, live volleyball, live handball. There's some games tonight. Do check it out. And if not, we'll see you next week.
This show is brought to you by the Augustus Media Podcast Network. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it.